is set to be one of the costliest for natural disasters on record. That's according to a new report from NOAA.
Every major disaster has one deadly pattern. Most people don't die from the storm, the quake, or the blackout itself. They die after from dehydration, infection, or running out of medication. Right now, fewer than 1 in 10 American families have the supplies they need to survive just 3 days off the grid. And one missing item in your cabinet could be the difference between comfort and catastrophe. And the Red Cross has warned most homes are dangerously understocked for even the smallest crisis. So today we're breaking down the 7 urgent items the Red Cross says you must stockpile now. The tools, supplies, and medicines that keep your family alive when everything else fails. Stay with me until the last one, because almost everyone gets it wrong. Number 7. Oral rehydration, salts, and electrolyte solution. The vomiting starts at midnight. By morning, your daughter's lips are cracked, her eyes sunken. Dehydration is setting in fast. You reach for water, but water alone won't save her. She needs electrolytes her body is losing by the minute. During Hurricane Maria, Dr. Elena Rodriguez treated dozens of children in San Juan whose families had water, but no way to replace lost salts and minerals. The kids who got oral rehydration solutions survived. The ones who only drank water, some didn't make it. Dehydration kills more people in disasters than the events themselves, and plain water can't fix it. The mechanism is electrolyte depletion. When illness causes vomiting or diarrhea during emergencies, your body loses sodium, potassium, chloride, minerals essential for organ function. Drinking water dilutes what little remains, creating a dangerous imbalance. Oral rehydration salts restore that balance in minutes. A single box of 20 packets costs $8 and can save an entire family. Each packet mixed with water creates a medical-grade rehydration solution identical to what hospitals use. The World Health Organization calls it one of the most important medical advances of the 20th century. Yet, fewer than 1 in 10 American households keeps it stocked. The timing is critical. Once severe dehydration sets in, oral solutions stop working. You need IV fluids, which aren't available when hospitals are overwhelmed. But catch it early with rehydration salts, and you prevent the cascade entirely. During the Texas freeze, families with electrolyte packets kept children healthy while others watched helpless as dehydration turned critical. Storage is simple. Packets last 5 years in cool, dry conditions. Keep them with your first aid supplies, not buried in a garage. When someone shows signs of dehydration, dark urine, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, you have minutes to act, not hours to search. But rehydration only helps if you can identify the warning signs early enough. Number 6. Medical grade thermometer and monitoring tools. The fever spikes at 3 in the morning. Your son feels burning hot, but how hot? Without a thermometer, you're guessing. And guessing wrong during a disaster means the difference between treating at home and needing an emergency room that doesn't exist anymore. Marcus Thompson, a paramedic in New Orleans, saw this nightmare unfold during Katrina. Families couldn't tell when fevers were dangerous versus manageable. We'd arrived to find kids with 105-degree fevers that had been raging for days. Parents thought it was just a little warm. By then, brain damage had already started. A $15 thermometer would have changed everything. The mechanism is invisible threat escalation. Fevers feel scary, but only accurate measurements reveal true danger. 101 degrees? Manageable at home with fluids and rest? 104 degrees? Medical emergency requiring immediate intervention. Without measurement tools, every fever becomes a crisis or gets ignored until it's too late. Medical monitoring extends beyond temperature. Blood pressure cuffs detect hypertension before strokes occur. Pulse oximeters measure oxygen levels, critical for respiratory infections. Blood glucose meters keep diabetics alive when insulin access is uncertain. During COVID-19, families with pulse oximeters knew when to seek help, while others died at home thinking they were fine. The quality gap matters desperately. Cheap thermometers give readings that vary 5 degrees. When medical decisions hinge on 1 degree's difference, that variance kills. Professional-grade digital thermometers cost $25 and provide accuracy that saves lives. Forehead strips and ear thermometers fail during stress. Stick with oral or underarm digital models. Store monitoring tools in waterproof cases with instructions. During panic, you won't remember how to use unfamiliar equipment. Practice now, when stakes are low. Yet, knowing something is wrong doesn't matter if you can't treat it. If this is helping you rethink your emergency plan, make sure to subscribe. Every day we simplify preparedness so it feels possible, not panic-driven. Number 5. Comprehensive over-the-counter medication supply. The pain hits like lightning down your father's arm at 7 in the evening. Heart attack symptoms. You need aspirin immediately. It could save his life. You tear through cabinets and find one bottle with 3 pills left, expired 2 years ago. Sarah Mitchell, an emergency room nurse in Miami, treats this scenario monthly. Families call 911 for things they could handle at home if they had basic medications. But during hurricanes, when ambulances can't run, those calls become death sentences. The Red Cross emphasizes that over-the-counter medications become prescription-level lifesavers when professional help is unavailable. The mechanism is symptom cascade prevention. A mild headache untreated becomes migraine, then vomiting, then dehydration, then medical emergency. Anti-inflammatory medication stops that chain at step 1. Fever reducers prevent febrile seizures in children. Anti-diarrheal medications prevent the dehydration that kills millions in disasters worldwide. The essential medication list is specific. Acetaminophen for fever and pain, ibuprofen for inflammation, aspirin for cardiac events, antidiarrheal tablets, antihistamines for allergic reactions, antacids for stress-induced stomach problems, laxatives for constipation from diet changes. Each addresses a different failure mode when medical care vanishes. Dosage knowledge separates preparation from poisoning. Adult aspirin during heart attacks, but never for children with fever. That causes Ray's syndrome. Acetaminophen overdose destroys livers irreversibly. Ibuprofen taken without food causes bleeding ulcers. During disasters, when poison control is unreachable, proper dosing becomes life or death knowledge. Storage strategy prevents the expired medication trap. Buy medications in bulk during sales, then rotate stock, newest bottles in back, oldest in front. Mark purchase dates clearly. Most over-the-counter medications remain effective years past expiration, but some like aspirin degrade into dangerous compounds. Quantity calculations matter. 2 adult bottles of each medication minimum per person. During the California wildfires, families sheltering for weeks ran through pain relievers in days. Still, medications can only mask symptoms and manage pain. For injuries that break the skin, you need something stronger. Number 4. Advanced wound care and antibiotic ointment. The glass slices deep into your palm while boarding windows before the storm, blood everywhere. A wound that needs stitches, but hospitals closed 2 hours ago. Without proper wound care supplies, this cut becomes infected, infection becomes sepsis, sepsis becomes death. Dr. Robert Hayes, a trauma surgeon in Houston, watched this exact progression during Harvey. A contractor cut his hand on debris, wrapped it in a dirty shirt, kept working. 3 days later, we amputated his arm. Proper wound care cost $12. We billed his amputation at $87,000. The Red Cross lists advanced wound care as essential because minor injuries become killers when infection sets in. The mechanism is bacterial invasion and systemic infection. When skin breaks, bacteria enter. In normal times, you get antibiotics and heal. During disasters when antibiotics are unavailable, your immune system fights alone. Proper wound care, cleaning, antibiotic ointment, sterile dressing gives your body fighting chance. Skip those steps and bacteria win. Antibiotic ointments are your chemical defense. Triple antibiotic cream containing bacitracin, neomycin, and polymyxin prevents 95% of wound infections when applied correctly. Silver sulfadazine cream, available without prescription, treats burns that would otherwise become breeding grounds for deadly bacteria. During Katrina, families with antibiotic ointment healed. Those without developed infections that killed them in agony. The wound care hierarchy determines survival outcomes. Step 1. Irrigation with clean water, flushing bacteria out physically. Step 2. Antibiotic ointment creating chemical barrier. Step 3. Sterile dressing preventing recontamination. Step 4. Monitoring for infection signs. Redness spreading, red streaks, fever, pus. Skip any step and infection probability jumps exponentially. Advanced supplies matter beyond basics. Butterfly bandages close gaping wounds when stitches aren't available. Sterile gauze pads absorb drainage without sticking to injuries. Medical tape designed for skin prevents allergic reactions and holds dressing secure during physical activity. Trauma shears cut through clothing to access injuries safely. But treating injuries as they happen means nothing if you can't prevent bigger health crises from unfolding. Number 3. 90-day prescription medication supply. Your mother takes insulin twice daily. You have a 5-day supply. The pharmacy has been destroyed by flooding. The next open pharmacy is 200 miles away through impassable roads. You watch her blood sugar climb, knowing what comes next. Jennifer Adams, a pharmacist in Puerto Rico, lived this nightmare after Maria. Diabetics went into ketoacidosis within days. Heart patients had fatal cardiac events when blood pressure medications ran out. People with seizure disorders started seizing uncontrollably. all preventable deaths if they'd stockpile prescriptions. The Red Cross emphasizes that prescription medications cannot be substituted or postponed. They're survival itself. The mechanism is medication-dependent homeostasis. Your body adapted to medications maintaining critical functions. Blood pressure pills keep vessels from rupturing. Thyroid medication prevents metabolic collapse. Anti-seizure drugs stop electrical storms in your brain. Missed doses and your body doesn't gradually adjust. It fails catastrophically. The 90-day rule saves lives. Federal regulations typically limit refills, but explaining disaster preparedness to your doctor changes that. Most physicians will prescribe emergency supplies when presented with a preparedness plan. Some insurance companies resist, but prior authorization requests citing disaster preparedness usually succeed. The paperwork hassle seems annoying until the disaster hits and you're the only family with medication access. Rotation systems prevent waste and maintain freshness. Use oldest medications first, newest last. When refilling, add new bottles to backup supply. This ensures your emergency stock never expires while your daily use draws from current prescriptions. Mark bottles clearly with acquisition dates. Storage requirements vary by medication. Insulin needs consistent cool temperatures. Invest in medication coolers that maintain temperature without electricity. Some heart medications degrade in heat. Seizure medications lose potency in moisture. Read storage guidelines for every prescription, then exceed them. Your life depends on these medications working when needed. Having the medications is only half the battle. You need the tools and knowledge to use them when systems collapse. Number 2, comprehensive first aid kit with advanced supplies. The bone breaks clean through at 4 in the afternoon. Your son's arm bends wrong, bone visible, blood pooling. You grab your first aid kit and find some band-aids, gauze from 2015, and medical tape that no longer sticks. Thomas Rivera, a wilderness EMT in Colorado, sees this failure pattern constantly. People buy basic first aid kits, then never upgrade or maintain them. When real trauma happens, they've got supplies for a paper cut facing an injury that needs a tourniquet. The Red Cross emphasizes that during disasters, your first aid kit becomes your emergency room. It needs to function like one. The mechanism is injury severity mismatch. Basic first aid kits handle minor cuts and scrapes. Disasters create major trauma, deep lacerations, broken bones, severe burns, crush injuries. The gap between what you have and what you need determines who survives. Comprehensive kits bridge that gap with supplies designed for serious medical emergencies. Essential advanced supplies separate survival from tragedy. Tourniquets for arterial bleeding, Israeli pressure bandages for wounds that won't stop bleeding, chest seals for punctured lungs, splinting materials for broken bones, burn dressings for severe thermal injuries. Each addresses injuries that kill in minutes without intervention. During the Las Vegas shooting, bystanders with tourniquets saved dozens. Those without watched people bleed to death in their arms. The training component equals the supplies. A tourniquet applied wrong causes limb loss. Chest seals placed incorrectly create tension, pneumothorax. Splints set poorly cripple permanently. Take Stop the Bleed courses. Wilderness first aid training, emergency medical response classes. Supplies without knowledge are expensive decorations. Knowledge with supplies saves lives. Inventory and replacement schedules prevent the expired supplies trap. Check kits quarterly. Replace expired items immediately. Sterile supplies with compromised packaging get replaced, not saved. Medical tape that doesn't stick anymore gets tossed, not kept just in case. Every item must work perfectly when needed. There's no second chance during disasters. Yet even the most sophisticated medical kit becomes useless without the one fundamental resource that keeps everything else functioning. Number 1. Water purification tablets and backup methods. The municipal water system fails at 6 in the morning. By noon, your family has consumed half your bottled water supply. By evening, you're staring at empty bottles, knowing that without clean water, you have maybe 48 hours before organ failure begins. Dr. Patricia Chen, an infectious disease specialist in Flint, Michigan, watched families die from drinking contaminated water during the crisis. The ones with purification tablets survived healthy. The ones who took chances with tap water, we buried them from cholera, dysentery, hepatitis A. Emergency response professionals worldwide agree. Waterborne illnesses kill more people in disasters than the initial event itself. The mechanism is catastrophic dehydration and systemic infection. Your body is 60% water. Lose that water through vomiting and diarrhea from contaminated sources, and cells stop functioning. Hearts can't pump, brains can't process, kidneys shut down, adults die in 3 days, children die faster. But purification tablets break this cycle by eliminating bacteria, viruses, and parasites before they enter your body. Water purification tablets are the great equalizer. A bottle containing 50 tablets takes up less space than a deck of cards, yet purifies 25 gallons of questionable water. The iodine or chlorine dioxide eliminates 99.9% of pathogens within 30 minutes. Rainwater, river water, even swimming pool water becomes safe drinking water. During Hurricane Katrina, families with purification tablets transformed any water source into survival. Those without died of dehydration, while surrounded by billions of gallons of unusable water. The backup method strategy provides redundancy when primary systems fail. Purification tablets for convenience and portability. Bleach for large-scale purification at home. 8 drops per gallon creates safe water. Portable filters like Life Straw for individual use. Boiling as last resort when fuel is available. Each method covers different scenarios. Tablets for evacuation, bleach for sheltering in place, filters for scavenging, boiling for uncertain situations. But having all 7 essential items means nothing if you're also stockpiling the 2 things that could kill you faster than the disaster itself. Number 1. Improperly stored prescription medication. The chest pain strikes hard. You reach for your father's heart medication. The emergency supply you've stockpiled. The bottle says expired 3 years ago, but you give it to him anyway. 30 minutes later, he's still clutching his chest. The degraded medication is worthless. He dies before help arrives. Dr. Michael Foster, a cardiologist in Atlanta, sees this preventable death pattern quarterly. Families stockpile medications, then forget about them. Expiration dates pass. Storage conditions degrade potency. When emergencies hit, they're administering placebos while believing they're providing life-saving treatment. The false security of expired medications is more dangerous than having no medications at all. It delays seeking real help. The mechanism is molecular degradation and deadly false confidence. Medications are chemical compounds that break down over time. Heat accelerates degradation. Moisture causes chemical changes. Light triggers photodegradation. Expired medications don't just lose effectiveness. Some transform into toxic compounds. Tetracycline antibiotics become kidney-damaging poisons. Aspirin breaks down into compounds that cause stomach bleeding. Storage violations kill even unexpired medications. Insulin stored above 77 degrees denatures and becomes useless. Nitroglycerin exposed to air loses potency within weeks. EpiPens frozen even once become unreliable. During Hurricane Harvey, families with improperly stored medications discovered their supplies were worthless exactly when they needed them most. The diabetics went into crisis with insulin that no longer worked. The heart patients face cardiac events with degraded medications. The rotation system prevents this deadly trap. Check expiration dates quarterly. Replace medications 6 months before expiration, not after. Use oldest supplies for daily needs while maintaining fresh emergency stock. This seems wasteful until you realize that the difference between effective and ineffective medication during a disaster is the difference between life and death. Temperature monitoring becomes critical for medication stockpiling. Install thermometers in storage areas. If temperatures exceed recommended ranges even briefly, medications can degrade. Basements flood, attics superheat, garages freeze, all destroy medication effectiveness. Climate-controlled interior spaces are the only safe storage locations. The second mistake families make seems logical on the surface, but creates an even more insidious trap. Number 2, refrigeration-dependent medical supplies. The power fails Friday morning. By Saturday evening, your refrigerated insulin has been in the danger zone for 36 hours. You inject it anyway because it's all you have. Your blood sugar doesn't respond. By Sunday, you're in diabetic ketoacidosis because you trusted spoiled medication. Rebecca Martinez, a diabetes educator in Phoenix, counsels families through this scenario monthly. They stockpile refrigerated medications thinking they're prepared, then lose power and watch helplessly as their supplies become useless. The false security is worse than no stockpiling. They believe they're protected, but they're actually vulnerable. The Red Cross specifically warns against relying on refrigeration-dependent medical supplies for emergency preparedness. The mechanism is temperature-dependent molecular stability. Insulin, some antibiotics, certain vaccines, and many biologics require consistent refrigeration to maintain effectiveness. Once they enter the danger zone, above 40 degrees, degradation begins. Some medications spoil in hours. Others lose potency gradually. All become unreliable, yet look identical to effective medications. You can't tell by appearance whether your insulin still works. The timing betrays preppers with cruel precision. Most power outages during disasters last 3 to 7 days. Refrigerated medications last 12 to 24 hours without power if you don't open the refrigerator. By day 2, your medical supplies are compromised. By day 3, they're useless. By day 4, you're in medical crisis with no treatment options. The replacement strategy requires planning before disaster strikes. For insulin users, this means investing in medication coolers that maintain temperature without electricity. Evaporative cooling systems, phase change materials, even simple methods like wet towels and airflow can preserve medications. But these systems must be tested beforehand, not improvised during emergencies. The psychological trap is the cruelest element. Families believe they're prepared because they've stockpiled medications. When power fails and those medications spoil, the betrayal is devastating. They did everything right according to their knowledge, but that knowledge was incomplete. The result is the same as doing nothing, except now they face emergencies with false confidence instead of honest awareness. Now you know the 7 items that can save your family and the 2 mistakes that could undo it all. Preparedness isn't complicated, it's just commitment. One small step every week adds up to safety, security, and peace of mind. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with what's already in your emergency kit. Let's build a smarter, safer community together.